The woman that you see today isn't the woman that I've always been. A few years back, I used to constantly be anxious. I used to suffer from anxiety attacks, depression, and I just didn't feel safe in my body. Now I'm calm about 95% of the time. I'd say my natural state of being is calm and even joyful. Like I literally wake up joyful. It is very hard for me now to stay in an emotion that doesn't serve my body, like stress, anger, sadness, irritation. Even if I try to stay in these emotions now, my body will instinctually start identifying that emotion and processing it, working through it, and regulating, getting back to my default vibration, I like to call it, which is basically my default frequency, my default state of being, which is that calmness. The reason I wanted to talk about this topic was because the other night I was very angry. Very, very, very angry. I hadn't seen myself that angry in a while. And within minutes, I feel my body regulating itself. Like I didn't have to consciously, and I'm going to get into this how I used to consciously regulate my emotions. I don't even have to consciously do it now. My body will do it for me. And I came back to this feeling of calm. And it wasn't from suppressing my emotions. I completely felt the anger and I completely allowed myself to be in this state, but I couldn't stay stuck there because my body knows what to do. And as I started to think, when I returned back to calmness, I started to think about, oh my goodness, I've changed so much. Just a few years ago, me being this angry, I would have been this angry for hours, maybe even days. This emotion would have stayed stuck in my body. I wouldn't have been able to process it as quickly as I just did now. And I realized I have mastered or almost mastered emotional regulation. And I need to talk about this because it is so big. I've literally done a complete 180 on the person I am just through this alone. So, how did I do it? How did I go from the girl that was having anxiety attacks, who was anxiously attached to every guy that she talked to, who was stressed, who was sad, who was depressed, who I don't know if I should say this on YouTube, but I had those thoughts. I literally went into a 72-hour hold once. How did I go from that girl to the woman now who is joyful, who is optimistic, who is calm, who is grounded in her body? I first started learning about emotional regulation through feminine energy. And this video is for everyone. This is not just for women. This works for everyone. But I learned when learning about feminine energy, I learned of the concept of processing your emotions, letting your emotions run through your body and releasing them. That changed my life. So, I'd say I have a 3-step framework around emotional regulation. The first step is to feel. What are you feeling? Is it excitement? Is it anger? Is it disappointment? Is it stress? What is it? Feel that emotion. Let that emotion run through your body. And this looks different for everyone. Some people, when they're angry, they might need to scream into a pillow. Some people just need to sit there and just feel the emotion. Whatever you are feeling, feel it. That sounds kind of redundant, but really sit there and feel that emotion. This step teaches you to stop resisting your emotions. In the past, if I was angry or sad or whatever the case may be, I would tell myself, okay, I need to get out of this. I can't feel this. I got to get out of it. What can I do to get out of it? And instead of getting out of it by doing that, by suppressing the emotion, it would cause me to spiral more into the emotion. When you allow yourself to safely feel the emotion, that spiraling doesn't necessarily happen because processing the emotion gives you a heightened awareness to the emotion. So now you have this kind of string that's pulling you back to, that's connected to you. So think of it as a leash, right? When you're allowing yourself to feel the emotion, you are still on this leash connected to yourself, right? You know that you can just call yourself back at any moment. You still have that power. When you start spiraling, there's no leash and you just spiral onto into an abyss, basically. Which brings me into my second step is observing and reframing, basically the why. This also helps you stay grounded while feeling the emotion. This is where my higher self, I'd like to say, comes in. Why are we feeling this emotion? So then in this step, I start to run through, okay, what led me here? What brought me here? Why did I feel this emotion? Did someone say this? Did this not go in my favor? What happened? Why am I feeling this emotion? So then, as I'm asking myself these questions, my that inner voice in my head starts to respond. I'm feeling this way because this happened. This really hurt me, or this really angered me, or this made me so excited. I feel like with the excitement though, I don't really ask the why. I just feel it and release it through movement, through dancing, through squealing. I don't really have to so much ask the why, but I notice with anger or sadness, those emotions that can put you in a rut if you stick in them too long, those emotions that can turn you into a nasty person if you stay in them too long. I notice with those emotions, I do have to ask myself, okay, why are we here? What happened? And as I think about why, I also, in this step, I give grace. If someone did something that triggered me, that I felt I reacted to, because no one can ever make you feel angry, make you feel sad. You are essentially making yourself feel those emotions. However, they could have done something that you reacted to that triggered you, that brought you there. So I asked myself, why? Why am I here? And how can I come back to myself? Because when people suppress their emotions over time, they kind of just snap and they don't even know why they've snapped. They don't even know why they're there. So, identifying what got you here and what you need in this moment will really, really help you in this process of regulating your emotions. So, do you need some alone time? Do you need to meditate? What do you need? What got you here? What in you was triggered? Once you start asking the why, you get your brain thinking. And now instead of sulking in that emotion, your brain is being proactive. It's being productive in, okay, we felt this, we've identified why we felt this now. Now you're going to start going into the third step, which is entering a new state. So the first step is basically feeling, let it all out. The second step is processing. Why did we get here? What do we need right now, right? Processing what happened, what got us here, what we're feeling. The third step is transcending. Now that you've felt the emotion, you've identified why you're feeling the emotion. Sorry, there's a dog outside. Now you can get into the state of transcending that emotion. So, what do I mean by this? In this step, you are now making your body feel safe. If you were in an emotion like anger or stress, or an emotion that you feel is disrupting your nervous system, now is the time to make you feel safe. Not physically, well, yes, you want to feel safe physically, of course, but you want to feel safe emotionally now. This is where you kind of get into that calm, serene energy. There's different ways to enter this. This will be different for everyone, but some examples are breath work, meditation, journaling, sitting with yourself. I personally love meditation. I love sitting with myself. I love tuning into my body, and I feel not manifestation. I feel meditation really gets me to that state of calm, to that kind of, it brings me to a higher perspective. And the more you do this, you don't just have to do this when, oh my God, I'm angry. Let me go regulate now. This should be an everyday practice. Go into environments where you feel calm. Go into meditation. Go into breath work. When you're doing this, you are training your body to be in this new state. And as you train your body to be in this new state, it becomes more natural. Like what happened to me that the other night when I was very mad, I didn't have to consciously lay down and think, okay, let me feel my emotions. Where did this come from? Let me transcend it. I didn't have to do that. My body automatically did it for me. It started processing for me. It started feeling for me because I have trained my body over the past year and a half, I'd say. I've trained my body to feel calm, that calmness is my natural state of being, that being happy, being joyful to experience life is my natural state of being. So now, anytime that I'm slightly out of that state, I can easily identify it, and my body is like, boom, okay, we need to get whipped back into shape. We need to, okay, let's feel this emotion. Why are we feeling this emotion? What's going on? What's going on? What happened? What do we need right now? And let's return to self. Okay, I don't know if my microphone was on, but hopefully you heard me. What was I saying? Hold on. Okay, I don't really remember what I was saying, but basically, once you train your body to be in a certain state of being, whether that's contentment, whether that's serenity, relaxation, whatever you're training your body to be in, anytime that you're slightly knocked out of that state of being, you will know like this. It will be like sirens going off for you. You will know, you will be that connected to your body. And what I've noticed in myself before I found this work, and in the majority of people, is we're so used to being anxious. We're so used to being deregulated. Is that the word? We're so used to being disconnected from our bodies that when we're in situations that make us stressed, make us anxious, whatever the case may be, we don't even realize it because we've normalized that feeling in our bodies. So then we keep entering these situations, and that anxiety, that anger, whatever it is, keeps building up in our bodies. And then it starts leaking out. And we literally become unhappy people, nasty people, people who don't enjoy life, people who are depressed, who are anxious. That is literally how it happens. But once you start consciously training your body to, okay, all we know is peace, all we know is ease, all we know is relaxation. Anytime that you are put in a situation that isn't giving you that, that is going against that, you will know and you will transcend whatever emotion you're feeling, and your body will start to work through it for you. And it's just crazy what three simple steps can do for your life. I remember when I was an anxious and depressed person, I was choosing partners based on that state of being. I was choosing partners that would further push me into my anxiety, further push me into my depression, further stress me out. I was choosing that for myself because that is all I knew inside of my body. Once I started becoming a calm person, a tranquil person, a relaxed person, a happy person, a person who truly knows herself, I started choosing people who mirrored that to me, choosing people who honored themselves, who were calm, who wanted peace, who knew how to communicate in a healthy way, who wanted resolution and not problems. My life literally changed once I started mastering emotional regulation. Emotional regulation might just seem like, oh, okay, I know how to deal with my feelings now. I know how to. No, it will literally change your life. Because the state of consciousness that you're at, the state of being that you're vibrating at, influences your actions. It influences your nervous system, which influences your actions, which influences your reality. When you've mastered emotional regulation, once you have a safe, calm nervous system, you start taking action from that place and your reality will follow. So, yes, it is truly life changing. And if you are a woman who wants to go deeper into this work, I do offer a 7-week one on one mentorship program, and I'd love to welcome you into my space. The details of that are in the description. I love you so much. Bye.